Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Lights Out with Ish and Eve. I'm Ish and this is Eve, and we are well and truly into the summer break now. But honestly, it feels like we never left.
Yeah, everyone really had a backlog of things to announce.
I feel like there was so much stuff they wanted to announce and they just didn't want to do it in front of the cameras. They were like, let's just wait until the summer break,
honestly,
to get it announced.
Yeah, and
not
just
have to do a press
to
interview.
disturb people's jobs, get the races out of the way, and then it was almost every single day
For real.
since that race in Belgium. It's been this news.
It's been crazy.
So obviously the most notable one.
Yeah, wait, before we get into that, just so people know what this podcast is about.
Oh yeah, oh my god.
So
I was so excited. I jumped the gun. False start. 5-second penalty.
So, yeah, jumpstart Lando Norris. Anyway, so we want to talk about a bit of a mid-season check-in, mid-season review, all of the crazy races we've had up until now.
Yeah.
But before we get there,
Yeah.
we'll obviously talk about all of the drama that's been happening so far into the summer break.
Yeah.
So, as you were.
Yes. I was going to say something we've been waiting to be announced for ever since the season started and Lewis announced he was going to Ferrari.
Yes.
Where is Carlos going?
I know.
And the thing is, obviously he's going to Williams. I feel like anyone that's watching this will probably know that by now. But apart from perhaps my dad. Hey. But signing for Williams, he was going to announce he was signing for Williams 2 months ago.
Yeah. It's been so strongly rumoured for so long, and then because it never got announced.
And then it went backwards.
Yeah, all these other rumours started happening
and
from
then
Mercedes and Red Bull and Alpine and everywhere.
Yeah, apparently he's on a lot of money, and that would make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Where? But
Well, I think Audi were going to offer him a lot of money, so Williams would have had to
counter that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But good driver pairing. Really good
So
driver
good.
pairing with Alex Albon.
No appendixes
No appendix.
in sight.
Hopefully they don't get disqualified because they're too light.
The joke had to be made.
No, of course. But they are the first appendixless driver combo ever.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think such a pull from for Williams.
Yeah. And
Did you see the video of when they James Vowles announced it to the team?
Yes.
It was so cute.
They were so happy.
I know. They were just because it was a video or whatever of Carlos talking to the team, and they were so excited. They were just cheering for ages.
Yeah, that they couldn't even hear what he was saying.
Yeah, as you would, but
yeah. I'm really excited to see him and Alex as teammates.
Yes.
First of all, I think that's going to be a lot of fun.
Yes.
I really hope they can be competitive.
Yes.
And
Scoring points consistently.
And then to get to the point where they could get on the podium.
Yeah.
Obviously to get a podium would be amazing, but at the moment if you said Williams is going to get a podium, you'd be like, who crashed? Everyone? What happened?
For real, yeah.
So to get to the point where they could genuinely be scoring points frequently and pushing for that, podium fit, that would be really exciting. And Alex has been in the fucking trenches.
Yeah.
I hope that they get that for him as much as I hope that they get that for Carlos.
Honestly, Alex's back is about to have a huge weight taken off it. He's no longer carrying the team.
Literally. And in that moment of silence for Logan Sargent's F1 career. Okay, let's move on.
Yeah.
That was a very brief moment of silence, but I mean, it's not that sad. It was gonna happen. It's not a shock.
It's kind of amazing he got a second season. So
I mean, I hope he gets signed by IndyCar, which is the rumor, and I hope that he does well wherever he does go.
We wish him all the best.
Yes, absolutely.
But I also think, just before we quickly move on, if Mercedes are the favourites coming into the 2026 new regs, it'll be really great for Carlos. I think it would have factored into his decision moving to Williams because obviously they're a Mercedes customer team. So hopefully.
Yeah, and then that's also another quick point to make is now that Carlos is signed for Williams, who's going to Mercedes? There's no other strong rumours apart from Kimi.
Yeah, I think Kimi's kind of got it in the
It
bag
has to
now.
be.
Between seeing him and Bono together, I think.
Yeah, and they were the only two strong rumours. I genuinely have not heard a single other rumour. Have you? Like, I heard rumours for the other Williams seat of, like, Bottas, but, like,
Yeah.
Bottas isn't going to go back to Mercedes.
No.
So,
I think
it has to be Kimi.
Yeah.
And this might be a nice place to add a little disclaimer. By the time this episode comes out,
Yeah.
more things may have been announced.
Yeah.
So we're filming this on the 2nd of August. So
So at time of filming, Kimi Antonelli has not been announced at
No.
Williams.
at Mercedes.
For Mercedes. He hasn't been announced at Williams either.
I don't think he will be. So yeah, just quick caveat if you're thinking these girls are literally fools he signed like a week ago. No.
What else has been happening?
Another thing that's been happening is supposedly Perez isn't going to be sacked.
Yes.
And apparently it's because of a sponsor.
Yeah.
Apparently Max and Daniel were both told that they were going to be teammates again.
Really?
Supposedly.
They were like walking around smiling together in the paddock and like...
Yeah. Word on the street, this is not confirmed by anything official, but apparently Red Bull were sacking Perez and promoting Danny Rick. And Daniel and Max both thought that that's what was happening. And probably Checo as well.
Yeah, well, because there was a quote from Daniel like a week or something ago where he was like, I don't know what car. I know I'm going to be driving a car in Zandvoort because obviously people were like, is he going to get kicked out in the summer break? He was like, I know I'm going to be driving a car in Zandvoort and I don't know which car.
Yeah. And like, then Perez been like, I'm so sick of all the speculation around my career. I'm like, we're sick of it too. And we're sick of your shit. Like, but,
get out of here.
Yeah. But apparently a sponsor like dug their heels in.
Yeah. So here's the thing.
But
the
Danny
difference...
Rick has hell, like...
I know, but Australia is a very small,
Yeah.
you know? So like the difference between first and second in the constructors, money-wise, I think is about 10 mil.
Yeah.
Perez would easily bring that in.
Yeah.
In terms of sponsorship, merch sales, the whole shebang. So from a business point of view, from like a Red Bull corporate point of view, it makes sense financially to keep him in. Where it sucks is this is a team.
Yeah.
And it's a sport.
This is a racing team. Like,
and you're like, it's not in the spirit of the competition.
no, that's why like when things like this happen, which it does in the sport, like, and it always has.
Totally.
Like, it's just so annoying.
I know.
But like, if it's true that they told Daniel and Max, like, obviously that's not Red Bull, the team's fault, because they would have, that's the decision that they would have made, and then they would have gone ahead with that, and then someone above them said no.
Yeah.
But like, imagine Daniel
Oh, I know.
being told he's going back to Red Bull where he never should have left.
It does give me confidence that provided Danny Rick doesn't like really screw up the rest of his season,
He'll get the RBC.
yeah, he'll get the Red Bull seat
Oh, at the end of the year.
at the end of the year.
Yeah, I hope so. And then bring Liam Lawson in. Because I really, really do want Liam. This is like my ideal situation.
Yes.
Is Danny Rick going to Red Bull so then Liam Lawson can
coming
get
to
a
RB.
seat in RB. Like, that would be my ideal situation.
Totally.
And like, it just like, it
I
just...
also don't necessarily, I don't think this will happen, but I don't think it's like off the cards. They could replace Perez after the Mexican Grand Prix. If it's really like,
If it continues
if it's
to be
really bad and McLaren have like caught up.
McLaren's going to catch up in like 2 or 3 races.
Yeah, but if it's
And that's like, they will catch up in 2 or 3 races. If Max wins, Lando's like, around, Lando and Oscar are both between 2nd and 5th, which they will be.
And that's exactly how they've
realistically.
caught up.
Yeah.
Like in all these like
And
past
Perez
races.
is down nowhere.
Yeah.
Or like P10. That's, even if Max wins the race, and Lando and Oscar just consistently finish high, which is what they're doing, they can catch him in 2-3 races.
Absolutely.
When's the Mexican Grand Prix?
That's a good question. Okay, so we've got Zandvoort, then Italy, Azerbaijan, Singapore, Texas, Mexico. Okay. So it's not until, it's October. Like the 5th last race.
Yeah, okay.
That's still enough races for if it's really close.
Yeah.
And they were like, we got to get him out of here, like to switch and...
Then there's the McLaren fan in me that's like, just wait till it's too late.
Yeah.
Wait till it's too late.
Oh, absolutely. If it was Ferrari, and like I'd be like,
keep that man.
Keep
but
that
the only
man.
reason is because it's Danny Rick.
Yes,
that's like
that's true.
Getting like,
that's
if
true.
they were promoting like Yuki, love Yuki, but I would be like, no, leave him out there, leave him in there.
No, so fair, but
Yeah.
No, I do get that.
Anyways.
So that's a thing.
Yeah.
What else?
Obviously, we know Bruno Famin is stepping down as team principal of Alpine. Lasted 1 year, basically on the dot. Because it was at Spa last year that it was announced that Otmar Safnauer was leaving. So 1 year later.
It's like the Defense Against the Dark Arts teacher.
Literally. Snape has cursed Alpine.
It was Voldemort, actually.
It was
that
Esteban
cursed.
Oh my god,
Anyway.
true.
Fake fan.
So Oliver Oakes joins Alpine as a new team principal.
Yes.
And in our last episode, I forgot his name, but he is the person I was talking about. The high-tech F2 team principal.
Yes.
Which is really interesting because with Renault potentially leaving, is high-tech looking for an opportunity to be an F1? Or is he just going to move into an F1 team, which is probably going to happen because he's literally coming in at Zandvoort.
Yeah.
I don't know who's taking over his F2 team, but I've heard that Alpine are close to announcing Jack Doohan.
I've heard that too.
It makes sense. The amount of videos of Jack Doohan I've seen from Alpine in the last few weeks, a lot.
Yeah.
A lot of videos with, hey guys, it's Jack, here at the testing, and every time I think it's a driver announcement, I get upset. I see Jack Doohan post on his story and it's like a video of him, he's reposted it, shared by Alpine.
Yeah.
It's not. But then if it's high-tech obviously has Paul Aaron and I would love Paul Aaron to get a seat, but I would prefer Jack Doohan just as an Australian. But
Aussie's really out here representing.
Oh yeah. The Olympics have me feeling patriotic. Anyways, moving on.
Yes. What is there anything else that's
Yes.
happened in the last few days?
Yes.
Of course there is.
Yes.
What else?
Red Bull sporting director,
Yes.
Jonathan Wheatley, I think his name is,
Yep.
is leaving. So Adrian Newey leaves. What is he? Was he technical director?
Chief Technical Officer, yeah.
And then sporting director, both leaving. Obviously, we knew about Adrian Newey a while ago. But this guy, Jonathan Wheatley, I'm pretty sure that's his name, is going to be the team principal of Audi.
Yes.
So I don't know when he's leaving Red Bull, if it's effective immediately, if he's staying until then, if he's joining Sauber to get in there.
Work it out.
I don't know. But that's happening. Also, Andrea Stella signs multi-year deal to stay at McLaren.
Yes.
Which is really good for McLaren consistency-wise.
Yes.
They've got both of their drivers and their team principal locked in for multiple years.
Big slay.
Yeah, that's really good. Just for outside noise.
Yep.
That's good for them.
Agreed.
And that's that. I have a few just little funny things that I've seen
Yes.
so far. Lando in his vibrant green fucking Lamborghini. And everyone just saying he's having a brat summer.
True.
It's literally it's that colour. Green.
That's
I think it's a
so
Lamborghini.
funny.
And it's just Lando driving around in it with Charlie XCX playing and Lando having a brat summer. And I'm like, yes, he is.
Get it, girly.
With that, what? It's that exact colour green.
That's so funny.
So I thought that was really funny. Also, Oscar Piastri and Valtteri Bottas are competing in the Olympics.
Oh yeah, I did see that. I was like,
Both
oh,
of
no,
them?
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's this gymnast who looks like Oscar Piastri, and Oscar confirmed on Twitter that he is in fact not at the Olympics. But there's this gymnast who looks like Oscar.
Yeah.
But
Oscar's twin.
extremely ripped.
Yeah.
No hate to Oscar, but
yeah. I'm sure Oscar's well in shape too. But
yeah,
not
I'm sure
quite
he is.
Olympic gymnast
not
level.
Olympic gymnast level. I think if he was, he probably the F1 would be difficult.
Yeah.
But
couldn't get in the car.
But then I think it was an ice hockey player or something?
Yeah.
The one that looks like Bottas, which is really funny.
Yeah. It is.
Because he's into his ice hockey.
Is he?
Yeah,
I thought
he
he
loves
was
it.
into cycling.
He's into it all. And with the helmet, it looks so much like him. I think that
funny.
lookalike is much more than the Oscar
Yeah.
one.
Yeah. For sure.
Because there's one picture of the Oscar lookalike going around that I didn't think it looked that much like him. And I was like, And I saw a different picture and I was like, okay, I see.
That is funny.
Anyway, that's
Love that.
the summer break so far.
Yeah.
It's actually been a week and all of this has happened.
Yeah, we're 20 minutes into this podcast. Anyway, let's talk about the year that has been
Yes.
so far. Where should we start? Should we start just by like an overall, just like where we're at with the teams, the drivers, everyone? So obviously we kicked things off in Bahrain and it was like, great, another 2023 2.0. Max Verstappen is going to win every race by 45 seconds.
Yep, to Perez.
Yep. To everyone.
But yeah, to Perez in second in the Red Bull.
Yeah, true.
Like, that's what I'm like.
Oh, yes.
Red Bull domination.
Yes.
Snooze fest.
For real. So it was like, okay, cool, we'll just see you in 2025, I guess. And it has been anything but. It's been... So obviously, I've only been watching since 2023, and you started watching
and Melbourne this year. I didn't even say, literally, the chaos kicked off the moment I stepped through the door.
It really did.
I've since gone and watched Bahrain and Saudi.
Yeah.
But I didn't watch those races. The first race I watched was Melbourne.
Yeah.
And Max exploded. Like the first 3 seconds, and I was like, "Oh!" And then
you came over to my house to watch it with all my housemates.
Yeah.
And like I so remember like Max's car like slowing down, and then that big foot like bang out the side of his car, and we're just.
Like obviously I knew it was a big deal because like
we'd been chatting about it a bit.
Yeah, and like I knew who Max Verstappen was, like even though I didn't follow it, but like I was like, oh my god, but I didn't realize like actually how significant that was.
Yeah.
Like, because I've since then gone and learned about how dominant.
Yeah, and consistent and reliable and everything.
Yeah.
So, that was
fun.
That was great. And the fact that we had a Ferrari one too was just...
Yes.
I cherished it. Because it ain't happened since. Anyway...
It probably won't.
Will.
Sorry.
Anyway, things started to get a little spicier after that. I mean, it took a little bit. I think Japan and China was still very much like, Max was...
that was like, Max, he just had a problem. And it happens. Like, obviously it didn't happen, like, last year, really. Oh,
no, like, but not at all, really.
Yeah, like Singapore, but...
Yeah, but that was
just different.
Yeah.
But, then... Yeah, like, that wasn't necessarily other cars catching up.
Yeah.
Like, anything like that. That was just, you know, an incident.
Yeah.
An incident, if you will. And then, you know, Japan, China, it was like, oh, well, it's back now. Like, that was fun. But we're back.
Yes. And then we got to Miami, which was just so good. It was
the best day of my year so far.
True.
My year hasn't been great. Anyway. But for real. Like, actually could be.
I remember, like, watching that, and I was, like, tearing up. Like, seeing him win, seeing the reaction.
Me
like,
too.
him being like, we did it, Will.
Oh, it's so cute. And, like, just the whole everything.
Yeah,
the
when he got out of the car.
The jump on, the
onto
crowd
the team.
surf.
Yeah.
Everyone, all of the other drivers, like, being like, he finally, like, he did it. The podium, the anthem, like, the trophy throw, the champagne pop.
It was
all
so
the interviews,
good.
just his, like, relief.
All the drivers coming up to him and, like, congratulating him and being so supportive.
Oh, my God. Like, just the scenes of Miami were incredible.
And I still stand by the, like, Miami and Lando winning in Miami is just so on brand. It's just
Party
absolutely
animal.
giving
Brat
Lando
Summer.
no mercy. Literally, that's what I'm saying. Or at least someone who drives a fluoro pink Lamborghini with
Pink? It was green.
I mean, green, whatever. Fluoro green Lamborghini.
I don't even know if it was a Lamborghini. I think it was.
Fluoro green supercar.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that happened. I got to watch Imola for the first time because Imola got rained out last year.
Yes.
From the flooding, so
yeah, that's good.
That was cool. I got to say Aqua Minerale a billion times.
You haven't stopped.
I have not stopped.
But like, Miami was when McLaren brought the upgrades.
Yes.
And that changed the game.
Yes, that was when Max started to...
Things turned around. Because then in Imola, Lando was just catching and ended up in second place by like 0.7 of a second.
Yeah, and it was like if he had like a couple more laps
or something, he
would have won. Yeah.
And it started the string of races Lando could have won if.
Yes.
And this has been
An ongoing storyline.
an ongoing, rather upsetting storyline.
Yes.
We've spoken about it pretty frequently, like in the podcast. I don't think we need to talk about it too much, but
No.
like, this is a nice little segue into something else I was going to talk about, so I feel like we'll just go and then we'll get back to the other race winners that we've had.
Yeah.
Lando's season has genuinely been really, really, really good.
Yes. Super consistent.
And incredible. He's been on the podium, like, I should have looked it up, but like...
A bunch.
Most of the time.
I can look it up now.
I think it's
And then
probably...
cut it out.
I'm going to guess like 8.
9.
Fuck. I was so close. But even better.
Yeah.
9 out of 12 races.
Yeah.
And 1 was the DNF.
Yeah. That's a 75% hit rate.
Yeah, and 1 was
For
that
Max.
DNF, like,
Yeah.
that crash.
Mhm.
And, like, that would have been another if
Yeah.
he hadn't had that contact with Max, which is obviously...
So consistent.
And, like, that is a phenomenal season. The only dampener on that is how many of them could have been wins.
Yeah.
For various reasons.
And it sucks because, like, the media and, like, social media makes that the storyline.
Yeah.
Rather than, like,
Yeah,
oh my
like,
God,
when you just
he's
look
had
at
an
the
incredible
results,
season.
when you look at the results as they stand, it's incredible
yeah.
what he's done.
Yeah.
And it's so upsetting because he's so down on himself, so hard on himself, so disappointed, frustrated, and like, fair enough given like the different circumstances that he's been put in, but he is genuinely having a cracking season.
Absolutely. And it's why he's potentially going to catch Max in the
Yeah.
drivers and why McLaren are very likely to catch Red Bull in the constructors.
Yeah.
Because both him and Oscar have just been so consistent at delivering high points.
Yeah, and Oscar's the only driver that has finished 100% of lap time this whole year.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, big up Oscar,
Big ups, Oscar.
big up McLaren, big up
Slay.
Lando, and
We
his
love that.
podiums.
True.
So, that's just something I wanted to touch on. Obviously, Miami was kind of the starting point of McLaren catching
downfall.
up.
Yeah.
And then everybody else catching up.
Yes.
Well, not everybody else. Basically, Mercedes.
Yeah. Well, because up until that point, Ferrari.
Ferrari.
Ferrari
Yes.
were really like, they were like, is Ferrari the fastest car? Are they the second fastest car? Like,
Yeah,
and
Ferrari
Max
was
is just out driving. Like,
Clear second car.
yes, absolutely. So
Now you're a clear
that was
fourth.
really great for me. I was really enjoying that time. Yes, they've now dropped off to fourth fastest.
And yeah,
Like quite
clearly
fourth.
But
you
that's
know, it's
okay.
fine.
You've had 2 race wins this year.
We have.
Nice segue.
Which
After
is
we had
nice.
Lando winning in Miami, we then had Imola, which obviously we spoke about, then Monaco. And I will let you...
It was a really boring race.
But
Not
the
gonna
first
lie.
lap was...
The first lap was, I was like, let's put all the excitement into the first lap,
And then have a sleep for 7
and then we'll just wait until the end.
Yeah.
And then the end, oh,
But it was like, what's going to happen to Charles?
totally.
It's
Well,
like-
that was the excitement. It was like, is Ferrari going to screw him, or can he hold on? Because that's the thing, he's been like,
yeah, I know.
like
That's
good
what I mean.
in
It's like,
Monaco before, and then it's
yes,
all
it
gone
was a
wrong.
boring race, but it was also a little bit like,
It was like, nobody move, nobody breathe, nobody, like, don't say anything, don't think anything, just everyone stop. But yeah, anyways, I loved it.
Yes.
I was so happy. It was so beautiful. And then hearing him, like, talk about it afterwards and, like, watching him celebrate it and seeing how much it means to, like, him and, like, his whole team.
yeah. The Prince
Like,
of Monaco was like
he was
spraying the
so
champagne.
happy.
He was so excited.
So, like, that was just really, like, beautiful to see, obviously. And the commentator, the one that does the rounds on TikTok of, like, the stands that he, like, watched build as a kid, like, rise to, like, him winning. And, oh, it was just so beautiful.
Yeah.
So that was such a vibe.
Yes, for sure. I am going to unfortunately bring your mood down a little bit in that Monaco curse, which was, it was dubbed the Monaco curse, obviously all of the issues that he had
Yes.
in Monaco. He finally broke the Monaco curse.
Yeah.
But it seemed to have exploded all over the rest of his season to date.
He, like, sold out the rest of his season to win.
Yeah.
In Monaco. He was like, I'll
Kinda worth
sacrifice everything else
kind
Let
of
me
worth
win in
it.
Monaco.
Kind of worth it. So then he had a,
Is it?
well, if it stops now, because he did good.
He did. That's
It's
true.
far. So
True. That's true.
I'm
I'll
thinking,
take it.
like,
He
if
served
that's
his
the
time.
gap,
Yeah.
maybe, hopefully.
Better of.
Yes, but
Something.
obviously Montreal horror.
Ugh.
Between bad qualifying and Ferrari being Ferrari.
Ferrari being like, let's put you on the wrong tyres all the time.
Yeah. Barcelona was nowhere. Where did we go next? We went to, I'm having a fucking...
Austria.
Yeah, Austria.
Nowhere again.
Silverstone,
I think he
Ferrari.
got lapped in Austria.
What happened in... He had a problem. He hit Oscar off the start. They
That's
had collision.
right.
Yeah. Collision. They had contact.
They had
They didn't have a
collision.
collision. They were fine. But he had front wing damage on the first lap and
Yeah.
ended up at the
But
back.
Carlos did end up on the podium in Austria, so
Yes.
there was that.
Running fifth. But, yeah. Then we got to Silverstone. Ferrari did another Ferrari yet again. Then we went to Hungary. Nothing.
They were just not very good.
And then Spa.
And then Spa. And then
So-
Charles back on the podium.
Well, he wasn't on
Sort
the
of.
podium. He wasn't on the podium.
Inherited
He inherited
podium.
P3. But
You know what's so funny is they just like handed the trophies back, like
I
in
love
the paddock.
that little like
yeah, like just,
Mercedes. Like
yeah.
I was like kind of really upsetting, but them handing the P2 to
I
McLaren.
know.
I was like, that's really cute.
I
I love
know.
the social media.
It's just so
admins.
funny there's no like formal process, or maybe there was and they just did that for social. But I
Yeah.
like to think that
The admin person
they're
just went
just
there
like,
and like
anyway,
handed them.
here you go.
Yeah, I love it. I love social media admins. Shout out to the Red Bull social media admin.
They're all just so good. Like even Steak, the videos that they get
Yes.
showing like Valtteri to make, so funny,
Yeah,
iconic.
I love that. Alpine's quite funny too.
Yeah, Ferrari do at times lean on the thirst traps of their
Oh my
drivers.
god. Yeah.
But they've gotten a bit better.
Red Bull, what makes me say I love Red Bull's admin is not even the content, it's the fucking comment replies.
Yeah.
It's so funny. Like just the little remarks. I'm like,
Yeah.
that's hilarious. Like they're not afraid to like be a bit cheeky and like be a
Yes.
bit naughty and like slag off another driver or something like in the comments. And I'm like, that's hilarious.
So good. Anyway,
George Russell is the
Yeah.
next race winner.
yes.
Obviously he his way
Inherited.
through
Yes.
in Austria.
Yes.
Which is good for him. He had to put himself in that position. Obviously, Mercedes also, around that point of the season, closed
Really
the
picked
gap as
up.
well.
Yeah.
And, you know, have been putting themselves recently. Like, they've won 3 out of the last 4 races now.
Yeah.
Which is... Oh, they still have.
Yeah.
I was like,
Wait, no, but yeah, they did.
They still have. Which is phenomenal. You never... Imagine, start of the season. At the summer break, Mercedes will have won 3 of the last 4 races.
Insane.
What?
I know.
Like,
I'd be like, what year is it?
yeah, hello. But so that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Then obviously Lewis winning in Silverstone. So
Oh.
something that I have written down for the season so far is like the important moments.
Yes.
Lando's first win, Charles winning Monaco, Lewis winning Silverstone.
Again, it was another moment where I teared up.
Yeah.
Like those I think 3 moments where I like got emotional watching it. I was like, because it's just,
Yeah, it's beautiful.
oh, I mean, we obviously spoke about it in our like podcast for that,
for that race. So we won't get too much into it,
but
yeah, for him to win his last home race with Mercedes,
I know.
it's
sweet.
like divine timing. Like that's just
I think like Toto Wolff called it a fairy tale, and it like
Yeah, it
absolutely
is.
was. It was
Yeah.
so sweet.
yeah, it's lovely. And
Yeah.
like just his emotion, like
Yeah.
that was just such a nice like Lewis at Mercedes
Yeah.
conclusion. And I
Like,
know
send
obviously
off.
he's continuing to drive for them, but
yeah, it was
like,
very sweet.
yeah, at his home race it's
Yeah.
beautiful. And then Oscar.
Should we talk about Hungary? I mean, we already did.
I know.
A lot.
We talked about Hungary a lot in our Hungary episode. So if you haven't seen these episodes and there's something that you'd like to hear us discuss more in depth, watch that episode.
Yeah.
It only started in Canada though, so
Yeah,
if
don't
you
go
are
back
leaving
too
before
far.
that, I'm sorry. But Oscar winning in Hungary. That's a first race win I was so excited for.
Mhm.
As an Australian McLaren fan, and like how much I loved Lando's first win,
Yeah.
I was expecting for Oscar to feel the same way. Obviously, given the circumstances, I did not, and that's really upsetting.
Yeah.
I am so excited for him to win his second race.
Yes.
And hopefully be able to... It's just not going to be the same, though.
I know.
But I really, really, really want him just to get just a chill race win.
Like a clean race win.
No controversy.
Yeah.
No controversy.
Agreed.
Yeah. I don't think we need to talk about Spa and poor George.
No. It just
But
happened.
it's just another one of the dramatic things that's
I know.
happened
This season's
year.
been so dramatic. Drive to Survive is going to be eating this up.
It's going to be crazy.
It's going to be a good season of Drive to Survive.
It
That's all I'm
absolutely
saying.
is.
Some of my like favorite driving moments. That Alex Albon
Yes.
overtake.
Yes.
That was in Canada.
Yeah.
Yeah. So good. I think that's probably still been one of my favorite overtakes of the season so far. Also the the McLaren and Mercedes racing one another in Silverstone. So good. There's been a lot of just really good racing, and I think because it's been in a lot of the cases, particularly in recent races, for the win,
it just makes
it's
it
been
more
so much more exciting.
Like, it's always exciting to see battles like that, no matter where they are in the field.
Yeah.
But to have them for like podium places, if not the win,
means so much more. So good. So
good.
There's been a lot, but I just want to highlight those two little moments.
I don't really have that much more to say in terms of, I feel like I've kind of covered everything, like the whole theme of everything being a lot more equal and the kind of downfall of Red Bull and rise of McLaren and Mercedes.
Yeah.
And obviously...
And a little bit Ferrari. The rise of Ferrari and then the slow fall back to fourth.
Oh. Well, I feel like they rose, but like ranking-wise they didn't. Because they were already, like, they rose...
Yeah, they already positioned themselves in second.
They were already second.
They didn't come up through the ranks. No. But they definitely like had defined themselves as the second.
Oh, clear
second.
car.
And now it's kind of okay, maybe not like that bad.
No, they didn't do it. They stayed still. Everyone else went past them.
Yeah.
They didn't, I mean, their strategy really was it. But that is always the case.
Anyway.
And I just kind of want to talk a little bit about, do you think, A, Max will win the drivers? And do you think, B, Red Bull will win the constructors?
Interesting.
I'm just saying that because they're who's currently winning. So as it currently stands, Red Bull leads the Constructors' Championship over McLaren by, I think, 42 points. And Max leads the Drivers' Championship over Lando by approx 80 points. I don't know the exact number.
Yeah. I think that... Oh, I probably shouldn't be playing with that. I think that Red Bull will not win the Constructors.
I agree.
Because I think Sergio Perez is going to let them down.
Because Max is the only one contributing to the team.
Yeah. Well, when you only have one driver.
Yeah.
It's so hard to say with Max and Lando. I think it's going to come down to like I think we could have another 2021 situation on our hands of like it's going to come down to the final.
I can't
races.
do that. I can't do Lando's sadness. Like, I can't do it.
I know.
I think it's going to depend a lot on McLaren.
Yes.
If they can sort out their strategy things.
Yes.
That have... It's not always been the strategy, but it has.
I think they just need to recognise that Lando is their shot at winning a Drivers' Championship.
Yeah.
And... yes, they love Oscar and they want Oscar to be a long-term part of their team and he's a great driver and he's scoring great points for the team, but Lando is the one in the position to catch Max.
Yeah.
You just need to like maybe not be the nice team all the time and start acting like a championship winning team.
Yeah, because it's kind of like, you know, it's giving a little bit like, oh, we don't think he's going to catch Max. So
it is, yeah. It's like, oh, we won't even really
But he
try.
totally can. It's going to be a huge effort and things would have to go quite badly for Max for it to happen.
But it's not impossible.
It's not impossible at all. If Max has a few, like, problems.
If the season continues how it's been going.
Yeah. And McLaren kind of fixed their strategy.
Yes.
Like, if Lando's going to beat Max, he has to get back on the top step at least a few more times.
Well, he's just got to start gaining on Max. That's the problem. It's like all these opportunities where, like, he should have made inroads and didn't because for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Like Spa was a great example. Max was starting in P11 and he's still like increased his lead.
Yeah.
Like, so stuff like that has to stop happening.
And that happened because McLaren made the wrong strategy call.
Yeah. So
they let
need
him
to
be
sort
undercut
it
by
out.
Max. Like, Max didn't even overtake Lando.
Yeah.
He undercut him. And I'm like, obviously that happens, but like, you can't let Max Verstappen undercut you when you're in this position. Like,
exactly.
No, you can't let that happen.
Exactly.
Like, I get you want to, like, run your own race and Max has come from like, he's the one you're fighting in the championship for.
Yeah.
He has to be your priority to beat.
Yes.
Like, don't worry about getting on the podium if you're not beating Max.
Yeah.
Beat Max, priority number one.
Yeah, agreed.
So, I think Max will still win it.
I do too. Like, again, if I had to
As
pick,
much
like,
as I
51-49, like, if I had to pick, I agree.
I just think it's like, it's a large deficit.
Yeah.
And the way that things have been going, they'd have to really, like, turn on a dime. Like, because they're right there. They just need to tweak some really important, like, strategy calls. And I did hear someone talking on TikTok about McLaren having, like, growing pains in terms of strategy because they haven't. Obviously, every team has to make strategic decisions all the time.
But they've never been a championship winning team, like, in recent history.
Yeah. So like, they're now having that pressure of strategy being potentially race win or loss. Like, winning you a race or losing you a race.
Yes.
And I think, like, hopefully they can push through that. Hopefully, in the summer break, work on a few things. Also, Lando needs to stop losing places off the start.
That would drastically help.
That would have probably, if he hadn't lost so many places off the start, every single race, he probably would have won, I want to say, maybe 2 or 3 more races.
Yeah. Agree.
He would have won Hungary.
Yep.
Because they would have got a 1-2 and he would have won. Because the reason they prioritised Oscar is because Oscar got past at the start.
Yep.
And stayed ahead.
Yep.
So if Lando stopped losing places off the start, that would be a good place to begin with fixing this. Anyways.
Start by not losing places off the start.
Start at the start.
Yeah. Correct.
Everything else, you're doing good, kid. McLaren needs to fix that.
Yes. Correct.
In terms of you, he's well aware.
Yes. Should we go through some awards for the mid-season so far?
Yes.
Who is your biggest winner or biggest winners so far this season?
McLaren and Mercedes.
Yes.
Having fixed their car and are now genuinely fighting for race wins and, like, very, very well in the conversation every single week.
Yeah.
To be a potential to win the race. So I would say those two.
I agree.
Yes.
I also think if we're looking, like, at the rest of the pack, like...
Oh, yeah, we really haven't spoken about that. I was going to, but I just forgot.
Yeah. I mean, there's, like, so much to talk about. We'd be here all night.
Yeah.
But, like, I do think Haas, from where they were last year to how they've improved so far this year, is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Really didn't think that they would.
Was going to the problem.
I know, really. It's like, oh, they've really turned that around.
Yeah.
Obviously, they've had ups and downs and many highs and lows, but I think they deserve a little shout out too.
Yeah. And, like, it's not consistent yet by any means, but it's better. Like, you have to...
They're not consistently at the bottom anymore.
Yeah.
So, who have been your biggest losers so far?
Red Bull.
Yep.
Like, obviously they're still winning, but just comparing to their own standards.
Yeah. Well, I was just going to say Perez. Yeah.
Also Sauber.
Yep, I had them on my list too.
But
like,
I feel like...
Still without a point.
Yeah, and the car just sucks. But I feel like it's just going to keep being shit.
Yeah.
Because Audi's taking over anyway.
I know.
So I feel like it's, like, a little redundant. Like,
I know.
I just don't think...
I'm sure Audi have been watching, like, Sauber's performance this year and been like, there is no way we're getting Carlos. like they literally haven't scored a point yet.
I know. That's like really bad.
Yeah. And like Zhou as well. Just the fact that he is like consistently at the back.
Yeah.
Like Zhou and Logan, I also had on my list of biggest losers. Just because biggest losers sounds really harsh. Biggest L's sounds a little bit more fun.
They've taken the biggest L. You're not calling them personally a loser. Yeah. They've just taken an L.
Yes. But those two are just like forever P19 and P20.
Yeah. And like I said this literally last week, but Zhou just can't prove his worth in that car.
No.
Like, because Valtteri, proven good driver,
Yeah.
is doing bad in that car.
Yeah.
And Zhou, while Valtteri consistently beats him, not by that much.
No.
He's like still, because Valtteri will be like P16, 17, and Zhou will be like P19, 20.
Yeah.
Like, that's not too bad of a gap for teammates. Like, when you look at Alex and Logan, the gap is larger.
Yes.
But, like, the car is just bad. And, like, how is... I mean, it's still to be announced whether, like, if Sauber's keeping one of those two or getting somebody else.
Yeah.
But it's just hard to see how they would keep him.
Yeah.
And it's, like, really, like... It's tough.
I know.
Hasn't really had the opportunity to fucking prove himself,
No.
I don't think.
Yeah.
I mean, you could say, oh, well, he could be beating Bottas, but Bottas is good.
Yeah.
Bottas is a good driver.
Yeah. Like, even though he hasn't scored any points, he has been getting the car up at times.
Yeah.
He's not always finishing last.
Exactly, yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
But, like, in a good car, you wouldn't expect Zhou to beat Bottas.
No.
So, like...
Yeah.
You know, it's really hard to benchmark him on, like, where he's at.
Totally. No, for sure. My silliest surprise was just the fact that we've had so many race winners this year. Because, again, coming back to Bahrain was just, okay, this is 2023 2.0. So the fact that it has absolutely not been
Run it
that,
back.
literally, has been the silliest of surprises.
Yes.
Do you have any other silly surprises?
I said Perez not being replaced.
Yeah, that
We've
is
been
such a
hearing
silly
about
surprise.
it for months. And
I just
obviously we
cannot
talked
believe.
about what happened there. But
You know what I feel bad for? The people in the team. Like,
Yeah.
the, like, engineers and the, like, the actual people that go to the races every single day, or every single day, every single week, and...
But they every single day, like, they work in the factory and, like, travel everywhere and...
Yeah, and they are in it for the competition and to win that
Yeah.
constructors. And to be giving it away is just...
It's like, yeah, you've got this sponsor being like...
it sucks.
Yeah.
Anyway, so, yeah, hate that. If you had to pick one favourite moment...
Oh my god.
I know we normally do moment or moments, but
Yes.
one. You get one.
One. It's got to be Lando winning in Miami. Is yours? What's yours?
Charles and
I wanted to let you say it.
Yeah.
But, like, it's got to be. Like, it...
Yeah,
Like,
it's your favourite driver, and for you, their first race win. For
And for
me,
they're
like
winning their home race finally.
The Minico. I can't talk tonight.
Ferrari.
The Ferrari. The Windsor Ferrari.
Points of Ferrari winning in Monaco. Won his home race. Charles Leclerc.
Charles Leclerc.
Ew.
Anyway.
I would say that.
Yes.
Yeah. And if you had to pick a driver of the season so far, who would you say?
Oscar.
I also have Oscar.
Why?
Also Lando, but like
I just think Lando
was
has
already
made...
kind of good.
Yes, but I also think he has just let himself down a little bit, whereas I just feel like Oscar has been so consistent. And maybe it's just because I like hold Lando to a higher standard
Yeah,
because
and
he's been
also-
in F1 for longer.
And just because he has been in the position to win so many of those races, whereas
Yeah.
Oscar's just banging in these consistent results.
Exactly.
Like, yeah, is Lando outperforming Oscar? Yeah, absolutely. But like, benchmark wise,
Yeah.
Oscar's in his second year.
Yeah.
Can you believe that?
That's insane.
Obviously, he has a good car, but like, to be that consistent.
Yeah.
Other people in their second year,
Logan.
look how much Logan crashes.
Yeah.
He actually hasn't in a while. But
Yeah. That's
even
fair.
last year too, like the amount that rookie drivers, of course they make mistakes. I'm
Yeah.
not saying that everyone else is bad and every rookie / like second year driver should be where Oscar is, but like he's so good.
Yeah. So good.
And I'm so excited that he's Australian and he's only 23 and
I know.
we get to see him for years and years and years and years.
We do.
Become world champion.
Which is so exciting.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. I can't wait to like hear the Australian anthem played more.
Yes.
At the F1. Because honestly, it went so hard in Hungary and...
Yeah. And watching the Olympics and
I
like
know.
hearing it and seeing them like on the... Because they have podiums.
Yeah.
They've got podiums. The flag and the anthem.
Yeah.
And I've been
so
like...
good.
I've been absolutely here for it. I've been
love
sat.
I've been sat.
I'm sat. But yeah, I feel like that's probably a good place to leave the episode.
reckon.
Obviously, as we said, filming this probably not quite a week, but like
Yeah, maybe a weekish.
a weekish,
Yeah.
like 5 days roughly before releasing it.
Yeah.
More stuff could happen.
Yeah.
So make sure you follow us on Instagram and TikTok.
Yeah.
Because our thoughts and opinions and updates will be on there.
Mm-hmm.
So links to those will be in our YouTube description. I did add them in last time. I don't know if you saw that.
I didn't.
And yeah, if you're if you're listening on the audio version, please give us a review if you enjoyed it. And if you're watching on YouTube, do like and subscribe and leave us a comment. Let us know what your favourite moment of the season was so far and what you think is going to happen in the second part of the season, because we'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions. And yeah, we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.